Hello and welcome to the Beaver News. I'm Conrad Cartmell.
And I'm Hayden Wilcox, filling in for Dana Delgado. We're glad you could join us this evening. We would all be lying to ourselves if we thought that part of the college experience didn't involve alcohol. But the harsh reality is that many of us don't pair that idea with the concept of moderation. Over this past weekend, we sent out Beaver News reporter Anna Singer for the Corvallis Police Department's Alcohol Abuse Seminar.
Your body's got to process all that. And I'm not going to get into the physiology because I failed that class. But your body can only break down alcohol and you can't speed it up, right?
CPD Officer Nick Hurley joined a group of OSU freshman students Sunday night to lead an open discussion where students were able to learn and have any questions answered concerning alcohol awareness.
So when somebody says they had a Long Island iced tea, what's in that? A lot. Exactly. You got to think of the big picture. Like I said, I've been here 14 years, and I've unfortunately been to several deaths of alcohol-related incidents.
A lot of students think that the police are against us and out to get us, but really them coming and talking to us kind of shows that they're trying to keep us safe while we have a good time too. So.
What's 0.08? Any math majors? What is that? About 5 times the legal limit? Again, that's just to show impairment. So you get up to 0.2, 0.3, those are really dangerous levels. But okay, I'm not here to preach abstinence from alcohol. I'm not a health major meant to just sit there and talk about all the negative effects. I enjoy alcohol when I'm off duty, but I'm also responsible with my behavior and my choices and the amount that I drink. And when I choose to drink to the point I don't feel safe to drive, I don't drive. You have to make those choices for yourself and for your friends, right? We have good friends that we make in college. Some of my bestest friends I made in undergrad and graduate school. But when we go out and they start making poor choices, who's the one to stick up for them? Our biggest thing generally on Mom's Weekend is overconsumption of alcohol. Parties that tend to get a little out of control because people think, well, my mom's here, it's okay to do, or moms think it's Mom's Weekend and they sort of feel like it's a Mardi Gras, and it becomes a very unruly party. So those are kinds of things that we deal a lot with. Deal a lot with fights, unfortunately, and some overdoses of alcohol. So we do, the gamut of alcohol violations we deal with, but we do have an increase in Mom's Weekend and Dad's Weekend. But these types of things are crucial to our mission in terms of being educational in nature, preventative. If I can prevent another student from falling off another balcony of a fraternity and dying, then I feel like I've done something successful.
This has been Anna Singer with the Beaver News.
Thanks, Anna. That's definitely something we should all keep in mind over our weekends. We're going to head into another short break, but when we come back, reporter Holly Clausen is going to bring us face-to-face with some cute creatures from OSU Pet Day.
Now, we all love our own pet companions, and it's always fun to check out what sorts of animals other people are raising. We sent Holly Clausen out to Magruder Hall's Pet Day to get the scoop on the explosion of cuteness that happened over Mom's Weekend.
Holly Clausen, and tonight on the Beaver News, I'm here with the llamas out at Pet Day at Magruder Hall. Pet Day 2014 was full of all kinds of animals for a variety of causes. The Pet Adoption Network encouraged adoptions.
We do fostering in our homes. We mainly are taking owner surrenders, or we're doing some that maybe they're not going to pass a behavior test, like at Heartland. We do between, now with our smaller group, we're 3 family rescue now, we do between 50 and 70 dogs a year.
While local families supported awareness.
He is one of our friendliest llamas. He's the one who will run up and greet us when we arrive home. He is probably the most personable. That's why we have him out. Likes people, likes to be pet, and people like to pet him.
And Pet Day even brought out the exotic, like Chomper, the endangered Solomon Island or monkey-tailed skink. Some could say that Pet Day 2014 was a success. Even I made a new friend with Canadar the llama. This has been Holly Clausen with the Beaver News.
Wow, those animals were adorable. If you wanted to tell us about your favorite pets, head over to the Beaver News Facebook page to let us know.
Mom's Weekend started off with a bang on Friday with OSU's Reserved Officer Training Corp Joint Service Review. On Friday, all 4 branches of our campus ROTC program paraded in their dress uniforms to present themselves to Reviewing Officer Major General Hawkinson. We sent our reporter to the scene.
Ready? Aye! Right! I've got to say, as a member of Congress, the hardest thing to do is to vote to send our young men and women to war.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2014 Oregon State University Reserve Officer Training Corps Joint Service Review. This is the 95th rendition of the Joint Service Review. This event can trace its origin to 1918, when Governor Whitcomb first reviewed the troops during World War I. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Congressman Peter DeFazio.
It's an honor to be here today. I want to thank all the cadets for having volunteered to serve in the military. In good part, my speech is really intended for the cadets because they are the future, and a lot of my remarks go to their future lives and their future mission in the military. When Benjamin Franklin was leaving the Constitutional Convention, someone shouted at him, he said, "Dr. Franklin, what is it we have? Do we have a republic or do we have a monarchy?" And Benjamin Franklin said, "You have a republic if you can keep it." Now, it's my duty to deal with the civilian governance side, but it will be your duty to protect it against all enemies. And I know you're up to that challenge. So thank you again for your service. Congratulations.
We're going into a quick break, but when we come back, reporter Anna Singer brings us inside the press conference for the decision to fire men's basketball coach Craig Robinson. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Beaver News. This week, big news in the world of OSU's men's basketball.
Even though we thought Craig Robinson would be retained as Oregon State men's basketball head coach, it was announced Monday that he would be let go. We now go with Anna Singer to a press conference of Athletic Director Bob DeCarolis making the announcement.
On March 28th, after much deliberation, I decided to retain Craig Robinson as our head men's basketball coach. At the time, and shortly after the conclusion of the season, I met with Craig, listened to his plan for the future, and decided to allow him another year to turn this program around. And after further evaluation, thought, and discussion, I decided on Thursday past that my initial decision was wrong. Despite my sincere want for Craig to be successful at Oregon State, as the days moved on since March, it became clear to me that wanting it to work with Craig as our coach was not good enough. Oregon State University, our student athletes, and our loyal supporters deserve more than the simple desire. They deserve success. And I simply believe that now we need a fresh start. If my change in thought has caused any unintended harm, I sincerely apologize. The decision to initially retain Craig and then ultimately dismiss him was made by me and me alone. Craig is a man of great character and integrity who worked diligently to try to take our program to new heights. I am confident that the head coach position at OSU is an attractive one, and we will have a strong pool of candidates. Today is about moving ahead and returning Oregon State men's basketball to its place among the nation's elite.
The decision to let Robinson go was a somewhat surprising one, and no concrete reasons have been given for the move, that are at least revealed by the athletic department. Robinson will be paid a remaining $4 million on his contract. To gauge a reaction from the student body, I headed out to the quad to ask students about the firing. This is what they thought.
I think it should have happened several years ago. I'm not really surprised. I kind of heard over the past 2 years that like the losing season most likely is going to get out.
I think he's been here a while. He's had his chance at bringing the team to where they need to be, and he hasn't quite done that. I think it's about time.
I don't even know about it. I had absolutely no idea about it.
I think they'll need somebody that's really going to get the guys motivated, get them out to play hard, and just compete in every game. We don't want any blowouts in any other games. We want everything to be close, and I think as long as they get that, the fans will be pretty happy.
I think that Craig Robinson shouldn't have been fired. I think he's an amazing coach, and I think what he does for our athletes is purely amazing.
I mean, you're not winning. Time for a change.
Personally, a winning record isn't something that we need to be focusing on right now. We need to work on building our team and building our players and getting a safe environment for our team so that they're prepared to play.
I think they can. I think it's just going to be, who comes out and who they look for, and if they're looking for that exactly themselves.
Well, I don't want to voice my opinion too much on the situation, but I know we've had a losing season, so I mean, I don't want to say I'm glad he's gone, but I think it's time for a change.
Seeing as the results that he had, I think it was a good time for him to go. I mean, I wish he could have done better. I wish he could have stayed. But with the results he's getting, it's not really showing us much.
He started building this team, and he's the best thing that's happened to OSU basketball. Before him, nothing was happening. He started showing progress, but they just didn't give him time.
As you could probably tell, a lot of the people we talked to didn't have strong opinions on Robinson's firing. What do you think about it, Hayden?
Well, to be honest with you, Conrad, I'm not a big follower of sports as much as I should be, especially not men's basketball. But I have heard some rumors here and there. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough information to give a good opinion on this. What are your thoughts? I hear you're a big basketball fan.
Well, I know that Robinson hadn't been winning a lot recently, so that's always an incentive for the AD to fire him.
Yeah.
But I really think that OSU, if they want to start winning, is going to have to show more of a commitment to men's basketball. And that's probably going to mean hiring a more expensive coach, putting some more money into infrastructure, just the kind of things you have to do to really attract top-level talent to your school. So it could be a good move or it could be a bad move depending on how they move forward with the decision.
Yeah. Well, whatever the decision may be, we're very much looking forward to it. We're actually going to go into a short break right now, but when we return, more Beaver news. It's a tradition that's been going on for the past few decades here in the Greek community. Around this time of year, all of the Greek houses pull together to celebrate Mom's Weekend with a blast of musical skill and expertise. IFC Sing. This weekend, our Greek news reporters Madeline Lee and Stephanie Paul went out to Gill Coliseum for the biggest Greek performance of the year.
For 4 months, Greek Life members choreographed and practiced routines for this year's Sing performance. We asked members of Lambda Chi Alpha and Kappa Kappa Gamma about their win and overall experience.
Something that I think set us apart from other teams in Sing was definitely we had a lot of different and more complicated stunts than a lot of other groups. We watched a lot of YouTube videos and utilized the OSU cheerleaders to help us out with that. And I think that helped a lot.
What really set us apart was the enthusiasm that we brought to our final performance. We were all really nervous to be there, but it was good, and it just made us ready to go.
We were also a very tight-knit group of people. I know that we had a lot of chemistry between partners and also between the houses.
I know there's some songs out there, people are like, oh, I haven't heard that song in ages, I forgot the words. But if you have, hits, like Hit Me With Bad Shot Heartbreaker, everyone knows those. And if you can really bring it with the energy and get the whole crowd going, even other teams to start tapping their feet, that's what that is what makes Sing. That is what a winning team does. And that you can definitely see the different teams differentiate themselves depending on how they can connect to the audience and the coaches and even the judges, most importantly.
I think the hardest part of the whole process was just getting the Sing kids to finally, for it all to click that this was only a one-time shot that they had. And then once they finally figured that out, it was pretty easy for them to perform it well.
Obviously, the hardest part of the process was getting these guys to give up 3 hours a night, 3 days a week. I mean, come on, we're all college students. We all have things to do. Obviously, getting them to come together, even the coaches, it was tough. Getting them all to be motivated when they have midterms to study for, homework to do, and having them all smile and sing, that was definitely the hardest part. But I'm glad to see it all came together at the end, and I definitely think they'd all say it's worth it.
The best part about being a performer was winning. It made everything worth it at the end.
I think the best part of performing and singing was just getting so close with Kappa Kappa Gamma, and I know pulling a hamstring during the final performance made it even that much better because I really felt the passion that I put into the entire performance.
I think one of the big things that I really liked was, along with like seeing their hard work pay off, is that you kind of saw them have to go out of their comfort zone, and seeing them like reach and exceed their potential and seeing their reactions to being able to do some of the stuff that they did was really incredible, because I don't think that they even realized that they could do what they ended up doing. We found out this year you have to be really dedicated to the performance and to their group and making sure that they're successful, whatever it takes.
Yeah, we definitely spent many sleepless nights working on just choreo, and then even up to the final performance that whole week before, we were up late altering costumes, driving to Portland to pick up costumes that just didn't come in. It's just all about the dedication.
This has been Madeline Lee and Stephanie Paul for KBVR News.
Wow, I bet a lot of moms were extremely proud of all those talented students.
For all you football fans, the annual spring game was a chance to quench your thirst for pigskin after the long off-season. We sent Marvin Lewis and his mom out to Reser Stadium to get a preview of what's coming up next football season.
I'm Marvin Lewis.
And I'm Darlene Lewis.
And we're here at the spring football game on Mom's Weekend 2014. Saturday of Mom's Weekend, the Beavers football team had their first team offense and defense square off in a light scrimmage against each other. This marks the end of the Beavers' spring practices, and it showed the fans where they stand going into next season. It was the last bit of football action the fans get until August 30th, when the Beavers face off against Portland State for their opening game of the season. The team is a little short on depth at the moment, so they were not able to do a full contact scrimmage, instead just doing a no contact light scrimmage. The Beavers made it fun for some young fans of the game, and some of the lucky ones got to come on the field and catch passes from starting quarterback Sean Mannion. They also ran drills so the fans got a little taste of what practice was like. Former running back Steven Jackson was in attendance for the game, as he was invited to help the Pac-12 network broadcast the game. He got a standing ovation from the crowd when his name was announced on the loudspeaker. Former receiver Brandon Cooks was in attendance as well, cheering on his old teammates. It was a fun day for the players, the fans, and the moms. I'm Marvin Lewis.
And I'm Darlene Lewis.
Thank you for watching this edition of Beaver News Sports. We'll see you next week.
Well, it looks like the spring game went really well. It's good to see the football team out representing the school again. Up next, what would you do if you saw a couch in the middle of the MU quad? We'll find out what one was doing there after the break. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for staying with us.
When's the last time you made a new friend? When's the last time you spoke to a complete stranger? Too often we're too focused in on our own world to notice the people around us. But one group of students is aiming to break us of our habits and get us to, of all things, talk to one another. Yesterday I went out into the quad for a conversation on the couch.
As we walk through the quad, most of the time we're tuned out to the people around us. But on Wednesday, a few students decided to do something bold.
Would you like to pick one?
The challenge? Take 5 minutes out of your day to talk with a complete stranger.
Where's your favorite place to be? I sit down and So the goal of Everyone Matters at OSU is to create a campus community that prioritizes inclusivity and non-judgment. About once a term we host an event in the quad usually. Like this term we have the Conversation Couch, which is a big hit. I think everybody's really liking it.
We've been putting people from like different walks of life, literally, and people coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, and making them talk to each other until they find like a commonality.
And then we also try to be really intentional, like there's these conversation questions for the couch today. This one talks about an experience that changed your life.
What's your favorite pickup line?
Describe your perfect date.
Ooh, what drains your soul and what recharges it?
And people are getting really personal and like sharing stuff that's really important to them.
I would like to become ambidextrous. And what seems like a daunting task at first ends up being surprisingly rewarding.
It's fun. It's fun when you get to talk to someone and it not being completely weird. So
Oh my gosh! Yes! Oh my gosh! Okay.
interactions nowadays are very, oh, why are you talking to me? I don't know you, but this is fun.
And I think this environment that we created is very powerful to be able to have folks share these kind of stories. Yeah. So I think we're going to be doing this every term from here on out, the conversation couch.
This is Hayden Wilcox for the Beaver News.
I was actually talking with Brenda and Hannah about how many students actually dropped by to talk with them, and I was actually surprised to know that over 60 students sat down with them and talked not only with them, but with other students too. I guess we do have a pretty friendly campus after all.
Now, we've all seen and maybe even participated in the blood drive that comes to campus every term. But have you ever thought about what it takes to put on such a big event? We sent reporters Leah Williams and Javier Sanchez out to talk to the people organizing the drive.
Today we are at the annual blood drive that American Red Cross is putting on, and we're excited to show you what the president has to say about it and other students as well.
In high school, I was part of our leadership team, and we put on blood drives at our high school once a year. So when I came to college, I really wanted to stay involved with that, and I started out by becoming an ambassador for the Red Cross and working at blood drives throughout Corvallis and Albany and Eugene. And then I decided I wanted to get involved more here at OSU, and I started with the Blood Drive Association, and this spring I was elected president. So
what does that entail?
Overseeing and as well as planning, we actually reserve the ballroom, we coordinate with the Red Cross, we're the bridge between the Red Cross and the university. So we have meetings once a week with the organization, and then my leadership team, we have meetings together once a week as well. I would say I've gotten to visit the blood center in Portland, so it's pretty rewarding to see where the blood goes, and I've known a lot of people that transfusions save their life, and so it's just really important to me. I think it's a good thing to do because a lot of the time we take our health for granted, and you know, someday you might need blood too. You never know. Well, okay. The blood drive here at OSU is the biggest blood drive in the Pacific Northwest.
It is?
Yeah. So that's a fun fact most people don't know, but our blood drive is very large compared to other schools. Like, we even beat out U of O.
Wow.
So, and we put on our drives once a term, so we try to get everyone involved as much as we can.
Was in pretty much for the last like 8 or 9 years, I've pretty much been doing intensive running and so I've never really been able to get a chance to do it. First time I got a chance to be able to do it was this last term, and it was a good experience. I like just, I don't know, it's something that I can do. I don't really know how else to phrase it. It's just like something that I feel like, you know, it'd be nice. It's nice to know that I can help someone out in some form or fashion, even if I have no idea how it is actually happening.
Right. And so is this your first time giving blood?
Second. Yes. Well, I would say it was a positive experience. That when I found out that was my blood type, I'm like, yes, I can make puns about that. Anyway, it was definitely something where I was like, I didn't really know how it was going to affect me. I've definitely had some issues before with potential dehydration causing me to pass out and stuff like that. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to affect. Everything ended up going just fine and smooth, and it was definitely one of those where I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and it ended up just being really good. Got to make a couple more blood-related puns just because I'm that kind of person.
I usually do it every year, so I just wanted to do it today, so yeah. Grandpa died from cancer, and he actually just didn't really have enough blood too, so I do it for him too, so
Awesome.
yeah.
And are you a student here?
Yep, freshman.
Freshman? And where are you from?
Beaverton.
Oh, very nice. And what was your first experience giving blood?
Freshman year of high school.
Was it scary at all for you?
First time it was. I hate needles, but then I got used to it because I did it a lot, so now I'm...
Yeah. And there you have it. If you're interested in giving blood, make sure to go in tomorrow as it's the last day of the blood drive. I'm Leah Williams, and this is Javier for the KBVR Beaver News.
Well, it looks like that's a really big project to put on. The blood drive is still running until Friday at 5, so if you haven't donated yet, be sure to do so, because every pint counts.
We're going into the weekend, and students are looking forward to getting out of the rain and maybe even making their way to Lake Shasta. For your weekend weather update, our favorite weatherman, Conrad Greer, is here to give us our weekend weather forecast.
Hello, Beaver Nation. It's Conrad Greer here, and I'm going to be showing you the weekend weather forecast. As most of you know, this weekend is also OSU's Greek Life Shasta trip. So I'm going to be forecasting that as well. For some of you who don't know, the MU is going to be hosting a blood drive this week. If you can't make it to that, then I at least suggest you go to your nearest and soonest Red Cross event. I know I've donated. Corvallis this weekend will be having likely chances of rain with temperatures hovering in the mid-60s. Rain will continue through the nights, driving low temperatures to the 40s. Down south, Shasta is this weekend. So here's the forecast for Lake Shasta. Sunny skies on Saturday with temperatures in the mid-60s. Sunday will be mostly sunny, topping at 78. Back in Oregon, weekend destination forecasts will be a bit dreary. Newport is showing rain and mid-50s. Stay buttoned up. Portland and Salem will be just a bit warmer at 60 degrees, but will still be showering down. Across the Cascades, Bend will be as cold as Newport with slight chances of rain. Roseburg will be seeing slight chances of rain and otherwise cool 60-degree temperatures. Back in Corvallis for week 7, temperatures will start off a little low, rain for Monday. Tuesday, we're moving into sunny skies, 77 degrees. It's gonna be a blast. As always, keeping the sun shining here, I'm Conrad Greer. Back to you in the studio.
I don't know about you, Conrad, but I am getting excited to get out of this rain and back into the sunny weather. After walking through mud puddles all day, I am ready to get back into shorts.
Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. I'm Conrad Cartmell.
And I'm Hayden Wilcox. For more of your Beaver News, be sure to watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter @Beaver News. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.